You work on the solar panels? Do you have an amplifier for solar energy?
Nothing as big as these, but I have a smaller one on hand. Do you need it?
Weird question. You don't have any Kiloa seeds, do you?
Yes, I do. Need some?
You're one of Ambassador Reala's candidates to live on the Nexus.
I am. Glad you finally showed up. Let's get down to it. I've lived my whole life wanting to meet aliens who didn't want me dead. But my family's here. How can I stay in touch with them from the Nexus?
You'll have ways to send them text messages and comm transmissions.
I want contact with the people I love. You offer machines. Not good enough, Pathfinder.
Vela's getting restless.
What do you expect? She used to crawl through cat-infested ruins.
Ryder, they've got amazing RemTech research going on here. I love seeing our Milky Way peeps mingling with the Angara. It's early in our interspecies relationship, but I hope we can build on the momentum.
We have an amazing opportunity, and a great responsibility.
Whoa, that's your inspiring voice. You really can't turn off diplomat mode once it's on, can you? Just riding you, Ryder. Keep up the good work.
Pathfinder, Ambassador Reala didn't think you'd have time for me.
She said you needed to talk before agreeing to live on the Nexus.
This is the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm an anthropologist, but I've only ever studied my own people. I've heard the Nexus is home to multiple species and cultures. It will be fascinating and possibly dangerous. Bacteria, viruses, other contaminants. My family worries about me. Are you sure I'll be safe?
We'll take every precaution, but entering an alien environment is always a risk.
I appreciate your honesty, and so will my family. I'll convince them to let me go. Thank you.
I can't work under these conditions. What does it take to be left alone?
Ambassador Reala sent me to check on you. You reported that someone in the Resistance threatened you. Tell me exactly what happened.
I didn't know Reala was sending the Pathfinder. I deserve no less, of course. I was measuring the photonic dispersal from the canopies when some random brute interrupted me. I asked him to move, and he got nasty. Said it was my fault his friend was dead. Ridiculous.
Do you know what he meant by that?
He ranted nonsense about a vessel and selling slots to outsiders. He got right up in my face and compared me to a cat. He wanted to kill me. I could see it in his eyes. The whole conversation made no sense. I think he was inebriated.
Sounds like there's more to this. Don't suppose you caught his name?
Didn't ask, didn't want it, didn't need it. When he left, I tagged him with infrared dye from my sample kit. Invisible to the naked eye, but not to a scanner.
I'll scan people around the Resistance headquarters. See if I find him.
You're supposed to represent our interests on Aya. Go, represent. I have work to do.
Hello, Pathfinder. Hello, Pathfinder. Any good news for me?
Is this Angaran? I found it on one of your homeworlds.
Son above. It's an ancient Ravan, a musical instrument. It uses Angara's body energy to produce music. We have them now, but nothing this beautiful. The songs it played were probably lost long ago. How much culture have we forgotten? Art, music, stories, it's all gone.
You're already rebuilding. Look at Aya.
We have a long way to go. In any case, relics like this help us.
I'll come back when I have something.
Stars guide your travels.
No entering the med center until you're clean.
How do I decontaminate?
Ion console. Touch the start pad, it does the rest.
Sam, is this thing safe?
Yes. The slight ringing in your ears is nothing to worry about.
Very reassuring. My people on Kadara are fighting a bacterial infection. Do you have antibiotics?
Of course. Will this do? Stop worrying.
I assume you're the human everyone's buzzing about. If you're looking for treatment, I'm afraid I don't know enough about human physiology to be much help. Unless you can make use of the ion beds.
If Jal takes a hit on my watch, my doctor needs to know how to treat him. Can you point me to resources she can use to learn your methods?
So you're considering all possibilities. Jal is in good hands. I have medical journals on treating Angaran injuries and preventing complications. You're welcome to upload them to your ship's doctor for study.
Is there something special about the beds here?
They're filled with a negatively charged ion gel. The gel works with our natural electricity to speed recovery.
Think it'd work on other species?
Without bioelectricity, it would be of small benefit, but it might reduce pain.
So you guys are electrically charged?
Our bodies produce a store of electricity that we can dispel in a surge of energy. We use it for short-range communication, healing, even combat. I admit, I was surprised to learn your kind doesn't have that ability.
Some of us are biotic. It's similar. Kinda.
I would be interested to study biotics.
I'll get moving.
Ishari.
I detect the infrared dye Silvis Len used to mark the person who threatened him.
I could
That's
use a
our man.
workout. It took humanity 8 years to get a Citadel embassy back home. Pretty impressive to get one here so fast.
All it took was handling some remnant.
It'll take more to keep this partnership going. Ambassador Riala will handle the embassy. Lets us focus on everything else.
Pathfinder, EFRA cleared you to purchase weapons over my objections.
Just a few. But the Angara have some...
Anything I buy will be used to fight Ket.
You fight our enemy, but you're not one of us. Remember that.
I know why you're here. The botanist. You want an apology for what I said to him.
I only have one side of the story. Tell me yours.
It's hard to explain.
Try me.
Aya isn't big enough to give everyone a home. We each live here a short time and then move on. For someone to come, another must go. The exchanges are chosen at random. We call this arrangement the Vassal. Time of change. It worked well, until now.
The Vassal never accounted for outsiders living on Aya.
There's only so much room. When our leaders agreed to make a place for your people here, it came with a cost. My friend won a place on Aya, but he sold that slot so one of you could stay here instead.
Sold it how? What did he get?
Comforts for his family, resources to improve their home on Haval. He always put others before himself. That's how he died, fighting Ket on Vold. When I found out, I was angry. Said things to your botanist I shouldn't have, but I'd never hurt your people.
He thinks you want him dead. Tell him what you just told me, and let's move on.
Thought I was clear the first time. Maybe his translator malfunctioned.
I'll talk to our ambassador. See if we can minimize our impact on your Vassal.
We don't expect things to be easy. Only that you understand, nothing is free for us.
Effa should have come to me.
Shuxul, I'm all right.
You almost died. What's he doing here?
I asked the Moshai to set up a meeting. I don't want us to be enemies.
Is this true?
Axul, Ryder rescued me from the Ket. He risked his life to...
Sloane Kelly saved Kadara. Look how that went.
I don't condone what happened on Kadara, but one bad experience doesn't define an entire species.
Your kind has a history of treating each other unfairly. Just ask the Krogan.
How did you...
I've been watching you. You're invaders just like the Ket, except less cautious.
What does that mean?
You'll know soon enough.
Do not trust them, Chauvin.
Axel... He didn't used to be like this. He was curious, brilliant. But the Ket, even without exaltation, they change us.
There's still time to bring him around.
I want to believe that, but his hatred towards aliens...
I'll prove we can be trusted.
I hope so.
Ryder, we just received an emergency recording from EOS. Come to the meeting room when you get back to the Tempest.
I found the device Ven was using to communicate with the Archon. I think we can use it to triangulate that Ket flagship's nav point.
All you have to do now is board it, steal the Meridian artifact, and escape in one piece.
You've been there. Tell me what to expect.
I saw very little. Corridors, an interrogation room, my prison cell. The Archon's vessel is a place of pain and death for the Ket's enemies. No one has attempted anything like this before. For all our sakes, you must succeed. Now it's my turn. Evra informed me that the despot of Kadara Port, one of your people, executed Ven Terev.
Sloane isn't with my people, and she doesn't speak for us.
Her actions spoke loud enough. She had no right to kill Ven. What he did was inexcusable, not unforgivable. This isn't what I wanted. Regardless, it's done.
Any ideas on how we stop the Ket for good?
The real question is, how do we define victory over them? Complete eradication? Unlikely, costly, and morally dubious. Drive them away? How? What stops them from returning?
Peaceful coexistence doesn't seem to be an option.
There's much we still don't know. The Ket are not a simple problem. We can't reduce them to a simple solution.
When the Ket are gone, if we fix all these worlds, what do the Angara want?
Depends who you ask. We're individuals. Paran will continue spreading hope and optimism. I don't know what Evra will do without an enemy to fight. Retirement won't suit him. As for me, maybe I'll just fade away. That's what people do when they're no longer needed, right?
I'd like to know more about you.
What about me intrigues you?
What are you working on these days?
I thought being a Ket prisoner was the worst fate imaginable. Then I got home and saw my backlog. Avela comes in every so often asking if I have a second. At this rate, I'll never catch up. To answer your question, I'm busy with everything and nothing. We'll see which wins.
You're an expert on several topics. Remnant, Ket, stuff I don't even know exists.
All true. Why? Do you want to be my student?
Is that an option? Because I didn't train for this job. At all.
Yet you do it well. There are two kinds of knowing. What we take in from the universe, and what's already inside us. You have the essentials figured out. The rest you can learn as you go.
Are you originally from Aya, or someplace else?
I was born on a research vessel in deep space. My parents were explorers. They never stayed in one place long. My own work has taken me to every world, many times over. They all try to claim me as their own, but if I'm honest, my favorite chair is here.
You and my crewmate have a close relationship. Any advice? Hints?
He talks in his sleep. Worth it for the look on your face. Jarl is a dear and hopeless former student. He has a good spirit. You're lucky to have him, that's all.
My translator doesn't know what to do with your title, Moshai.
Because it isn't a title, it's a reference. People from mythological times, before the Scourge. Legends say we once had many Moshai. Master inventors of unfailing wisdom, guided by boundless compassion.
That's a lot to live up to.
It's nonsense. Don't remember who first called me Moshai, but I do recall telling them to shut up. To my regret, the name stuck. I've minded less lately. Being the Moshai has its uses.
Thank you, Moshai.
Ishare.
Welcome back. Any news on what happened to Sorvis Len?
Do you know about the Visal, the Angaran lottery that decides who gets to live on Aya?
I've heard of it. Why?
Angar are selling their slots to come here, so our people can stay in their place. Including a member of the Angaran resistance. He was killed on Vold. Wouldn't have happened if he'd been here.
No one told me of this arrangement. Well, we have to do something.
Governor Shai is on our side. She'll know what to do.
You're right. We need to solve this problem together. Thank you, Pathfinder. I'll forward your proposal to Director 10 immediately.
That's all for now.
I'm here if you need anything.
I found Kiloa seeds for Eos. Is this enough?
It's perfect. I'll make sure Eos gets them.
Ambassador Riala said you're thinking of moving to the Nexus.
Pathfinder. I'm honored even to be considered for the transfer, but I won't be happy as just an observer. I need to work. I engineer power systems. Will I be allowed employment alongside your people?
That's the whole point of this exchange. The Nexus needs people like you.
That's all I needed to hear. I'll have your ambassador start the transfer. Thank you.
Here, I have the antibiotics for Kadara. Will the settlers be okay?
Once they have these, they'll be fine. I'll make sure they know who to thank.
All systems green.
Pathfinder, you have pending vid calls.